How do you make a space feel bigger without tearing down walls? This is a great question because I think you shouldn't tear down every wall in your home. I think designation of space is great. It gives you breaking points to do different things in different rooms. So if you want to make those spaces feel bigger, mirrors, lighting is huge. I think if you don't have a ton of natural light, think about sconce light, think about overhead light, think about floor lamps, think about table lamps. Lighting really sets the mood. Mirrors make spaces feel elongated. And then the other one is not really opening up a wall, but if you can expand a casing, take it a little bit bigger to at least have what would be considered a dual walkway, I think that's really helpful while still leaving designation of space. Sorry, I just thought of another one. Furniture scale. A lot of people in smaller rooms or rooms that don't feel large will use smaller scale furniture. I don't think that is the thing you want to do. I think you want to use fewer pieces that are still proper scale, and your room's gonna end up feeling bigger rather than using a bunch of small things. Okay, now on to the next one. What is your process for picking the right color palette? I think I start with what is the feeling you want to have in the space. That is the big one. I'm going to then try to figure out a main color to work with and build off of that. It's nice to have 2-3 colors sort of working cohesively in any given space, but feeling for me is honestly the big part. If you are unsure, paint companies make so many color palette boards of colors that work with other colors, and truthfully, it's kind of a no-brainer way, especially if you don't really know how to put it together, to figure it out. For me, mood, what furniture is going in there, what story do I want to tell is kind of the big thing. I think we've gotten to a place with color that it's really coming back in, and I love that. Before living in California, I have never actually had white walls in a home. I like something with some warmth to it. So pick your main color, think about another color you'd like to see heavily repeated, and then maybe a third color that's going to act as an accent. And again, if you're struggling with the color palette, hit up some paint stores, find color palette samples, and when you're working on bringing pieces into the space, you could be looking at that and kind of pairing things together. So that's what I do. How do you mix different design styles without it looking chaotic? Practice, I guess, is what I would say. My house is very much a mix of styles. It's traditional, it's got a bit of California cool to it. It's got some Parisian flair. I think it's all about balance and going back to, avoiding trends. If you avoid trends, you can really mix things together, or if you use a trend but you pair it with something else. But it really is just practice, and this is where working with a firm that does this for a living is going to save you time and money, because they will be able to put that together for you. But for me, it's a lot of trial and error, arranging and rearranging. What's one design rule you always break? This is funny timing, because I'm currently struggling with a way to lay hardwood flooring when you walk into a home, and the general rule of thumb is always in line with the doorway, and I might actually go the other way, which I think will possibly look better. I wouldn't say I always break, but I do a lot of the time, and that is, I will not just break down walls or always open up space. I will actually close space up or put things that will block space, because I feel like for the function of the home and the way the homeowners live, even though they don't realize it at first, it is the right thing to do. Now, I would say that's what any good designer would do, but in the scope of popular culture, most people always want to open spaces up. So that's one design rule I regularly break. What small design details make the biggest impact? Lighting, 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 lighting. I say it ad nauseum. I would always want rooms lit. I like little moments, and lighting helps create it. There's so many great plug-in wall sconces if you can't actually run hardwire, and yes, the cable will hang, and yes, it will still look better than if the area doesn't have some lighting to it. Floor lamps, table lamps, pendants, chandeliers, sconces, lighting, lighting, lighting. I love it. I also think personal touches. This is going to make a huge impact. You can't just go to West Elm or World Market or Target or wherever you're getting your accessories and say, I'm just gonna buy a bunch, I'm gonna bring them home, and it's gonna refresh the space. What makes the impact is when there is a story, when there are layers, when there are pieces that mean something to you. So you want those in your home. And then greenery. If you can do real greenery, if you've got a green thumb, it's not only great for the air, but it's great for your mood, and it looks beautiful in the space. Lastly, I would say look at things that you're touching on a day-to-day basis. Impact is not just a visual thing. Take, for instance, a door. If you have a hollow core versus solid core, the door handle, if it is solid versus hollow, when you hold that, when you turn it, when you open that door, one will feel substantial, one will feel like a dollhouse toy. And so biggest impact is not always visual, it is also the things that you touch and use on a regular basis. That's what I would say make the biggest design impact. Okay, I hope you liked our Q&A. I know I definitely did. It gave me a minute to pause, look back on some things that we've done, and just sort of what a bit of my motto in design is. As always, if you could give us a like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. It helps us bring you this content. And if you have any other questions for me, feel free to drop a comment below, give me an ask, or tell me if you disagree with me on something. Either way, I hope you come back again as we bring you tips and tricks in real estate and design.